Hi, welcome back to CAS 103, Introduction to Windows, Columbia Gorge Community College, the Dalles, Oregon. Linda Hughitt, instructor. In this video, we're going to be taking an early tour of Moodle for CAS 103. Each course can be set up slightly differently, so even if you have taken a Moodle course in the past, each instructor kind of constructs their course as they want it, as they have it work for them. So there are some differences. Also understand that Moodle is kind of like a living document. Things change or adjusted or tweaked a little bit here as we go. So while this video is being made, things may change slightly. Don't let that throw you if you see small differences. Also, they do updates on Moodle every once in a while. And when those happen, it can make things look slightly different again. So you've now logged in. You may have turned those boxes off like in the last video, but if you've not and you still have a bunch of extra boxes running over there on the side, that's fairly common when you log into Moodle. You have all these things going down this side, even 2 or 3 rows of them. All you have to do is go to this little spot here and just kind of close them down. Now, if you want to leave some running, you can find out which ones you use most often, if any of them, and turn just those back on. The ones I tend to use are, I have to find them here. I tend to use the navigation ones, activities. That's the one I use most often. So that's a good one for me to have turned on. You decide which ones you want to use, if any, and you don't have to have any of them used on. So you've now arrived, you've started reading the course description and the information about the course, and you've probably got to this part talking about 2 textbooks. Basically, there is a Windows 7 textbook, so if you're going to be using Windows 7, that is the one textbook. Then there is a Windows 8 textbook that will also be used. The library will carry the current correct copy of both versions. And as they get updated, because they do, these may change. This may not be the exact books, but you'll look in the course and the correct books will be showing there as those also get updated. You only need 1 book. You don't need 2. You are either focusing on Windows 7 because that's the operating system. That's the brains of your computer that you are wanting to learn. Or you're going to focus on Windows 8 because you have a newer machine and you are wanting to learn how to deal with Windows 8, which is a fairly drastic change from 7 in some ways, and in other ways is pretty similar. So you decide which book you need, you get that book. One caution, sometimes students like to get books really cheap, so they try to order them over the internet from who-knows-what-site.com, and we're halfway through the term and you don't have your textbook. It's called Pony Express at best, and by the way, the pony died. So it's just almost impossible to get books from some of those types of sites. So think it through carefully, decide where your best investment is, because even though the book might cost $5 or $10 more from Amazon.com, which is reliable, or from the college bookstore, are you going to save that in having to drop the class halfway through the term or 3 weeks into the term after you cannot get a refund because you don't have the book? So just a hint. You'll read through this, you'll understand the information, and then you're going to come down here. Now the video you're going to use to start the class, this video, will be placed right here when it's created. It's being updated, so that's why it no longer shows. But it will show here as start here, and that's what you're listening to. You have some information about meeting your instructor. You have your course syllabus, which is updated as changes are made. So that will be the current course syllabus that will be put in there. The course goals, that's for the course. Those are listed out of the college list. Some of the unit goals will be slightly different. Grading information. Due dates, basically everything is due Saturday night at midnight. No, I'm not waiting up for it. But basically you have 1 week till that Saturday to complete the work. I do allow a second week, which means that if you don't get it done in the first week, if you turn it in the second week, you can do that, but it's for reduced credit. And after that, the link will close and you are basically out of luck, unless it's been a major life event and you have pre-authorized with me some special privileges. Netiquette If you're new to the internet and what you should be posting, what you shouldn't be posting, how you should be talking on forums and in conversations online, especially at a college level, please make sure you read that. For instance, some people are not aware if they turn their cap locks on because they just don't want to deal with turning caps on and off at the beginning of each word or each sentence, that they're shouting. That's considered rude. So those types of things are good to know. The instructors forum is where I post information for you throughout the term. It's probably the most important spot to check in and read frequently, 2 to 3 times a week, because that's where I will do announcements, information, clarification, answer questions, all those types of things. Coffee shop is your area. That is an area that you are able to post, hey, I need a ride to class. I have a face-to-face class on Tuesday. Anybody going from, White Salmon? And see if there's anybody that can help you out. That is basically your area. I do not monitor it closely, and I do not necessarily answer questions from there. If you're going to ask me a question, use my email address, please, and I will reply to you through that. Some other course resources to go down and read through here, including information on tutoring, how to contact Ron Watras, who is our tech support person for students. He's also our Moodle guru, those types of things, some textbook resources. This one's grayed out right now, but it'll be fixed and opened here shortly. Those are the textbook PowerPoints that go with the textbook at this point. Now, those may switch around and end up in the units, but always look for those types of things to see what type of resources are there, and as the class gets updated and changed around, as they always do every term or two, you'll want to be checking in there. Something that we now have required, unfortunately, cheating and plagiarism does happen. People seem to think that because they're online, they don't have to follow the same ethics as they would in a classroom. So you need to read this information about protecting your hard work and academic honesty. And there is a quiz that must be completed by Thursday, the first Thursday of the term at 8 o'clock. If you have not completed that, I will assume that you do not plan to take the course, and I will drop you before midnight from the course. You must log in and you must take that before 8 o'clock. So that's a basic starting tour to get you started. Get started here. Read through all this information. Make sure you have your book. I suggest a flash drive or two for backing up your information and for carrying materials back and forth if you're trading computers. Thanks, and we'll be into another video shortly.